Life really starts to become fun when you understand Law 10 of the 48 Laws of Power: avoid the unlucky and the unhappy. You see, a lot of people don't realize this, but there are people in their circle, whether it's family members, friends, coworkers, whoever, that will bring you down simply because of the negative energy surrounding them. There's, for some reason, always people that you know that no matter what's going on, something unfortunate's happening. Hey, we were supposed to hang out, but my tire blew a flat and now we can't hang out. Hey, we're supposed to start this business venture, but my rent went up, so the extra money I was going to invest, I have to use that towards rent. Since recently becoming more financially well off, I've actually surrounded myself with some people doing amazing things. And those same people have helped me get into spaces and rooms I wouldn't have otherwise been able to get into, that now makes it easier for me to make more money. It's a trickle down effect, right? If you're around people that are successful, you're more likely to become successful. And I didn't realize this when I was younger. And if I would go back and tell my old self, get out of the rooms where people were more miserable and not doing anything with their life. I'm 26 now, but one of my first jobs ever was in retail grocery stores. I worked in the produce section, and the coworkers, no personal shade to them, but I'd have a couple coworkers that every single day they would walk into that building, they would be complaining about their life, complaining about their marriage, their kids, the circumstances that they're in, the circumstances they wish they could be in. And it was always so funny because those same people that would complain and complain and complain would do absolutely nothing to change their life. Every day we'd walk in, and it's the same type of, this job sucks, the boss sucks, and blah 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 blah. And they would almost have this envious approach to other people doing more well than them, but they would do nothing to change their circumstances. And at the young age, at 18 that I was, I didn't realize this, but I could have easily been poisoned with the same mindset, which would have eventually led me off to be have a victim mindset and not actually do anything with my life. Luckily enough, I realized pretty quickly how bad of those environments were. And it's not that the people themselves are horrible people, it's just the mindset that they had was the same reason why they were in the position that they were. They were 40, 50-year-old men working at grocery stores and complaining about the circumstances that they're in and doing absolutely nothing to change. And there's nothing wrong with working in a grocery store, but if you're going to complain every single day about something, you better be willing to change it. So to bring this back to Law 10 of avoid the unlucky and the unhappy, I feel like so many people are not where they want to be because they allow the opinions of other people to deter them from actually going out there, taking a risk, trying something new, being okay with failing if it doesn't work out. And I learned that it's important that you are always challenging yourself, and sometimes that requires you to be in very uncomfortable positions, but that's fine. That's where the most growth happens in life. So for me personally, I took the chance of moving from Connecticut down to Florida, meeting up with people I've met online but never met in person, and really challenging myself to pivot my entire business model, right? I was spending years in the informational space, selling agency work and lead generation, and that's all I really knew for the, from 2020 to 2024. It's all I really spent time doing, and learned a lot of universal marketing skills. But at one point or another, I decided that I needed to pivot completely to a whole new business model, which was e-commerce. And that's what I do now. And it doesn't really matter the mechanism or the vehicle that you do to become successful. For me personally, I just know I needed a change, and I wasn't afraid to restart and try over again. A lot of other people would have probably judged me, and I probably did get people judging me for changing what I did and starting from scratch again. And honestly, I didn't really care because at the end of the day, it's my life, and I want to make sure that whatever I'm doing every single day, it's something I enjoy. I want to make sure the environment that I'm in is an environment I like to be a part of. And more people don't do this, which is kind of disappointing, but they don't take matters into their own hands. A lot of people let life happen to them. They don't actually go out there and change the circumstances that they're in. I speak to some people every now and again, just people, mutual friends from other people I've met, and a lot of the times they'll describe an issue or problem that they're having, and I always like to follow up. Well, what do you plan on doing about that? And they'll never have an answer or response. I hate the circumstances that I'm in, and but it is what it is, right? That's the favorite phrase a lot of people love to say, but for me, I don't like to settle in anything in life. And one of the biggest reasons why people don't ever grow or change is because they settle. They accept where they are, and they think that that's their only reality, and there's no other alternative out there in life. And for me, I'm always seeking the next best position and opportunity to be, as long as it's fulfilling to me. And that's the biggest thing, is I don't really care what anyone has to say about me or what I do or how I do it. It's because at the end of the day, it's, it's about what is fulfilling to me. So my biggest advice for a lot of you watching my content, or if you're coming across me for the first time, understand that your environment is very important. They always say misery loves company. Be careful who you surround yourself with, especially if you're ambitious, you want to accomplish great things, and you find that you're oftentimes stuck. You want to move, you want to, travel, you want the new opportunity or career or business, but it can feel very daunting. It can feel very exhausting, and I just challenge you to make sure that those opinions that you have about yourself are not actually your opinions, and maybe somebody else's. Somebody else in your circle might be feeding you negative feedback on some decisions you might want to do. That's why a lot of times people tell you to just keep your goals to yourself and aspirations to yourself, because sometimes if you don't have the right people in your circle, they'll make you believe that it's not possible, which is really disappointing. But that's the circumstances and reality of the situation. A lot of people don't dream big enough, don't believe big enough. I remember when I was selling high ticket coaching, one of the questions we used to ask to qualify people is, how much money do you want to make per month? If they said anything less than $10,000, we'd automatically disqualify them. Because when we talk about online money and internet money, the amount of money you can make per month is almost infinite, right? We have the luxury of being able to leverage, people from all over the world to, even now with AI, software, we can hire VAs. There's ways to make more money that you can't just do in a regular brick and mortar career or business. And when we talk to some people and they have these small goals, I want to make $2,000 to $3,000 a month. For some people, that's a lot of money, and that's enough to live a happy life, which is totally fine. But we just always understood that the people that dream big, believe big, were the ones that are going to be more successful than the ones that set these really, really small goals. So I challenge you to as well. Think about the goals you want in life, and maybe you should be trying bigger. For me, I've learned that literally anything is possible. If you see someone else accomplishing something great, that means you can too. And even if you don't eventually accomplish those goals, still strive for them. They always say, shoot for the stars, land on the moon. Set really high expectations and goals, so that way your bare minimum, the floor that you can hit, raises as well. Set small goals, and if you fall short of that, the goals that you do accomplish, it's going to be even smaller. So these are some very important things to consider. And there is a real truth in the phrase, you're an average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. There is so much truth in that. And I'm very proud to say that I've met some really cool people that have helped elevate me. I try, especially nowadays, never to be the biggest fish in the room. I try to be, surround myself with people that are doing well, way better than me, and educate myself all the time. And it's just about not being complacent. So remember, law 10 of the 48 laws of power: avoid the unlucky, avoid the unhappy, surround yourself with good, positive people. If you can't meet them in person, try to network with them online, and you'll see quickly how much life can really get better for you.